Welcome back to another edition of Vikings Film Room, brought to you by the Vikings Entertainment Network. I'm your host, Pete Bercich. Now, when the Minnesota Vikings signed Rondale Moore, the very talented wide receiver room just got a little bit more crowded. However, he adds speed, but he also adds a lot of other talent. So let's dive into the film and try to figure out how Kevin O'Connell and this offense will be using his talents. So when you turn on the film of Rondale Moore, the first thing you notice is that he's not out at the wide receiver position too often. Very rarely is he out on the edge outside of the numbers, but I think he has a lot of potential to do more of that with the Vikings, and I'll show you why in this first play. In this case, you've got Cincinnati, number of guys up at the line of scrimmage, but what you have back here is what? Single high safety. So whether you have man-to-man or some kind of zone, you're basically one-on-one down here at the bottom. And watch Rondale Moore in this route. As he gets upfield, he gets hip to hip on this corner, and once this quarterback here starts to scramble, this becomes space. Right now, he's covered. You cannot throw the football to him right here. But watch this turn back, gets back to the line of scrimmage, creates that much space, and is able to get the completion and move the ball forward. So one-on-one, he's very, very tough to cover. Another example I found of Rondale Moore just really being a wide receiver on the outside against the Houston Texans. In this case, you got yourself a middle open type of a look. Watch the speed on this play. As he gets himself up the field, now the Texans have to make a decision with what they're doing here. Are they going to have this safety jump the crosser and then have the backside roll the post? However they're going to work this route out, they can't get it done fast enough. Because watch this, Moore gets up to the field, and just like the touchdown throw from Darnold to JJ for 97 against San Francisco, he's still covered right here, right? You have the safety on top of him. Right here, he doesn't necessarily have him beat, but the ball is going to be thrown. And when this guy breaks his stride, look at that. Nothing but separation. That's a perfect example of that 4.29 speed. And I really think the Vikings could take advantage of that. Now, where you'll see Rondale Moore more often is at a slot receiver, and he does a really good job of this. And on this play, he's helping out the quarterback. Does a great job here. Working across the middle, sees man-to-man, but now he's going to notice that the quarterback is in trouble. He's going to scramble and extend the play. Watch what his reaction is. To pivot, to get wide, and to find a gap in between corners and safeties to find a place to get open. So when the play gets extended by the legs of the quarterback, Rondale Moore is very tough to cover for that 5 or 6 seconds. Another example of Moore in the slot. In this case, he's going to be going up against Tampa 2. This Mike linebacker right here, he's opening up. He's settling on him. Right here, he thinks he's got him covered, but the quarterback is going to extend the play. Watch Moore's reaction. He has an ability to find the crease, the area in between the linebacker and the high safety, finds a way to get himself open. Quarterback sees him, delivers it, takes a big hit from the corner. Moore just can feel his way through a zone. The Cardinals took full advantage of Rondale's talent set. This is another example of it. He's down here in the slot, but they're going to motion him back into the backfield. And this is going to prove problematic for this Washington defense. Because what Washington's doing right here is they're playing a quarters type of a look where you're going to have both the corners squeezing this post and the inside safety working on it. But what that does is that clears out this entire area. Now you have a linebacker one-on-one against a 4.29 speed demon out of the backfield. We saw this happen with us with Jordan Addison. The Vikings can now do that with Addison. They can do it with Moore. He's proven it right here on tape. He can get behind these linebackers, creates that little seam, big throw and a catch, and eventually gets tackled down the field. But the guy's versatility is second to none. Another attribute to Rondale Moore's game is his physicality, right? He's a receiver, he's a running back, but he's also a really good blocker, and he's not afraid to use his body. Watch this play right here. It's all about what Moore does out here on the edge. As this ball snapped, you're going to do the bootleg. Watch Rondale Moore. This is an outside linebacker. This is a defensive end. This is a big body, right? He's going to put a shoulder into him, knock him back, and then get back in his way. Kevin O'Connell always says that receivers need to be great blockers. Rondale Moore knows how to use his physicality. Another example of Rondale Moore out of the backfield. This is him as an outlet. And really, what I mean by that is that you just want to get your athletes the football in space. So if you look down the field, you had 2 receivers. These guys are taking these 2 defensive backs off the play, And what does that mean? That means Moore is in space, and the nearest guy is wearing 53. That's a linebacker. Never going to be able to tackle him in space. So this short throw is going to turn into a pretty big play. Make a couple moves, make a guy miss. Get this guy the ball in space no matter how you do it. All right, so we've seen Moore block. The guy could take a hit too. That's what I love. He's not very big, but he's tough. Perfect example right here, okay? Up on top, you're gonna get kind of a cover two look, but this is a teammate hanging another teammate out to dry, right? What happens, that receiver should be getting up the field and pulling that corner out of the box. We gotta get this guy to pressure him, because what he's doing with vision back on the quarterback, he sees this out route coming from Rondale Moore, and watch this train wreck that's about to happen. As this ball's in the air, you got the break, the catch, the head snap, the whole thing. They can celebrate, but Rondale Moore caught that football. Another way I think the Vikings are gonna wanna use him is, again, bunch formations. We've seen him motion in the backfield, but he can still run a lot of these receiver routes. And this is a route that I've seen the Vikings run throughout the last couple of seasons. What exactly is it? Watch Rondale Moore here on the bottom. He's gonna fake the out route to get this corner right here to jump up. But with his quickness and with his speed, he's able to pirouette that thing back inside and get in between, moves the chains, the ball's ruled down, don't worry about it. Works really, really well in bunch formations. Now, stereotypically, you need to be a big body type receiver to work the middle of the field. What I saw is Rondale Moore does a really good job. He has the courage to catch the ball in traffic, and if you match him up with any of these defenders in the middle of the field, he's gonna win that matchup. In this case right here, you're gonna see Moore working his way. See the area that's open? It's the middle of the field. But he's gonna act like he's gonna settle to give this a little bit of time and let the traffic clear out as many of these defenders as they can. But this guy right here, no chance of holding up. With the wiggle, he gets free, gets some space, catches that ball, and turns that thing up. So he's good enough and strong enough and tough enough to work the middle of the field. Now, I was impressed with Rondale Moore as a wide receiver, and sometimes out of the backfield as a receiver as well. But how about him at running back? Watch this play against Dallas. Takes the inside handoff, you get a little bit of a pull. You've got 4 Dallas Cowboy defenders, all with room and some angles, but watch what happens. This is where that 4.29 speed kicks in. This guy is a weapon. You just gotta get him the football in some way, shape, or form. And this play is so good, you gotta take a look at it from the end zone as well, but his ability to just play behind his offensive line, to get underneath the outside linebacker, to see this cutback lane, he has the skill set to be a good running back. Arizona used him as a running back with counters, with zones, with outside plays. This guy can really kind of do anything. All right, so we've seen Rondale Moore as an outside receiver, as a slot receiver, motioning into the backfield, as a running back, as a receiving running back, and a running. How about a quarterback, right? Let's just line up in the Wildcat and put Rondale Moore at quarterback as well and see what we can make happen. Fake the reverse, pulls that thing down. Look at that speed around the outside. Rondale Moore has a skill set that very few players have in the hands of an offensive staff with Kevin O'Connell, Wes Phillips. I cannot wait to see how they're going to utilize his talent set.